the YouTube.
The YouTube.
The YouTube.
All right. Now Misa streaming. And my girlfriend stabbing me with her freshly molded resin sword. Stab, 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 stab.
Not my door.
Okay, there we go. It wasn't popping up in my my subscriptions, but it. Okay.
10%. Righty then. Ah. Alright, by the way, anyone watching the VOD of the stream, I preemptively apologize. I do not have my webcam on. I have my lovely lady over, and she is camera shy, and she is directly behind me. So if I had the camera on, she would be in full view of the camera. Even though you're gorgeous, and I think the world would be quite benefited from your beauty. Don't know me.
No.
Right. Oh shoot! I think did my add-ons get turned off? Yeah, they did. Fuck. Well, actually, I probably should open CurseForge to see if I need to update them. My luck, they do need to be updated.
Even if they do, you should be fine. I haven't had that many problems out of them when I need to update mine.
Alright. MOP Classic, update. Yeah, Questy and details need to be updated. But, should be able to do that real quickly. The updates are usually really minor.
A penguin took out my dragon.
Sorry, what?
No, you heard right.
Okay.
A penguin took out my dragon. Playing the Poke battles.
Oh, you're doing pet battles.
Yeah.
Pokemon in World of Warcraft.
Pretty damn much.
Alright, boom. Reloading. Questy is updating. Right.
Gotta catch 'em all. Poke addiction.
You do have an addiction. I've been debating getting LVUI, but I don't think that's on CurseForge. I think it's still its own thing.
It's still its own thing.
Yeah. I used LVUI.
I don't
all
recommend
the time.
it.
Really? That was like one of my.
I did too, but I've been having a lot of issues out of it for like the past few updates.
Oh, okay. Did they overextend it, or what they do?
I don't know. I've updated LVUI. I've updated. I've tried uninstalling and reinstalling it. And it's just giving me issues. So maybe it's operator error, but anecdotally, I'm kind of over it.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm gonna try and auction off this fucking blueprint one more time, and if it does not work, I am done.
What is it? What is it?
Ruby Serpent Jewel Crafting 260.
260? I could probably use it.
Okay, I'll send it to you then.
Pleasure doing business with you.
Yo.
Yeah, I don't think I have that one. Oh man, let me go to my paladin and check. I do not think I have that one.
Alright.
And also, you can go to the guild bank. I have some blacksmithing recipes in there.
I got a couple already on me that I'm just not the right level yet to get.
Oh no, these are low level ones.
Hey, Undead Nerd, welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome.
Hello, Undead Nerd.
Guild bank. And I suppose I will donate the tool crafting.
That is the one bad thing about Bag 9.
Wow.
It does not show how much gold is in the guild bank now.
It doesn't?
No. Because it's more than 0.
Yeah, it might, yeah, that's a bit of a problem. Money log. It says how much is deposited. It doesn't say how much is in total. That is unfortunate. And a
It is
nerd quote,
being-
I have crippling depression, quote. JK did.
Dead meme.
Okay. I don't even...
Off
the top of my head, don't recognize that one. Yeah, it's not telling me if even when going through the log, it doesn't say the exact amount.
It's up to 10,000 gold.
And yeah, I could see Sigismund deposited 1,000, then 8,989.
Yeah, because I took a lot of stuff out of the guild bank and auctioned it off, and just put everything that put money from everything I auctioned off back into the guild bank.
And that makes sense. Today is Saturday, so
Plus,
I'm
I
hoping.
still have like. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying, today's Saturday, so I'm hoping the queue for the dungeon finder is short.
For DPS, I doubt it. Huh. Let's go outside. Okay.
So in the meantime, I will go get some iron ore that I can turn into steel.
And well, no, I probably won't join you because I'm too low level. I'm having the opposite problem I normally have. Oh, go back to the guild bank real quick.
Hmm?
I just want to see if you can use those recipes because they were low level recipes. It would be under consumables.
Consumables. Cooking. Rune copper breastplate. I think I have that.
It'll tell you if you have it. You don't. It'll say already known.
Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it says already known. Wait, are those the same recipe? No, they're different. I don't know if
I just got an achievement,
but I'm not the right level for that. What
I think you're
achievement
close to it. Going down.
Going down.
It fell far enough that you should have died without actually dying.
I see. Hey, Pink, we will rule the world, one pink at a time. Indeed, the pinkish boys will know victory.
Yeah, I can use that one.
Awesome. Alright, so I got some more recipes. Cool. By the way, preemptive apology to anybody in the stream chat that might hear my 3D printer going. Hopefully not. It is on the opposite side of the room, but just in case, I apologize if you're wondering what that noise is.
I waved at you.
Hmm? Caseron.
Yeah.
You blend into the fucking crowd.
It is not my fault.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Emperor's Children.
Hmm?
Are you still looking for me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Peha Torque, hi, is this MOP EU? No, it's not EU, it's a US server.
Nope, we're playing in US. Sorry.
There you go.
Oh, there you are. Ah, this is your level 27.
Yeah.
Okay. I can see what you mean by too low level.
Yeah. Undead Nerd, this might be a weird question, but doesn't it feel nice to take a break from talking, letting your vocal cords rest? I feel that sometimes.
Yes. I don't talk a lot during the week, though, to be fair. So, I mean, the beauty of my day job is my vocal interactions pretty much come down to, can you move? Please move. Bye. And if I'm feeling polite, hello. I don't tend to say much while I'm at work. So yeah, really the hard part really is actually reminding myself to talk more when you spend a whole week barely saying anything at all. Like I don't talk to anybody during the week normally. So kind of an awkward point is to go from like a full week of like maybe saying a total of like a paragraph worth of words to then like hanging out in like Discord or hanging out with my girlfriend and then talking full sentences.
And not to mention tomorrow we have D&D.
Yes, we do. Which is I get all my talking out in one go. All right, so yeah, we're not.
And you have to deal with us. I'm so sorry.
I do not have a problem. Oh, it's strange. No people there. TBC anniversary have one layer more than in all MOP. Yeah, I can believe that. I tend to play TBC as much as I can and more often so than Mists. Mists I play because my buddy Ludus, who's also in call, prefers Mists over TBC.
Yeah, bro.
Yes, I prefer TBC. Haven't played a lot of TBC lately though, because I've been trying to make sure I level my Miss character so we can do higher end content together.
Well, it doesn't help that I got a slightly bit. Well, it doesn't help that I had surgery. I've been out of work for 2 weeks, and I've may have gotten my leveling out of hand and over leveled my character.
Yep. So I'm playing a little bit of catch up. But yeah, I don't mind.
You're playing a lot of catch up. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah. I got the one character so far working on. Yeah, so I'm mostly playing Miss at the current time because none of my friends play TBC Classic. I have a guild over there I'm part of, but technically speaking, I'm not friends with anybody in there. It's just a guild I joined because they needed signatures, and I thought, hey, why not? But yeah, just playing a little bit of catch up over here.
What are you looking for?
See here. Not Dust Swallow.
No.
Distillation Hold. I think is the closest to my normal grinding spot.
Undead Nerd said your vocal interactions are, can you move? Please move, JK. Like,
it's not even really a JK. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Like, the job has a lot of downsides and a lot of upsides. I'm a maintenance worker. There's not a lot to say. If I say a lot at work, something wrong has happened, and I'm reporting at length. So yeah, the building's on fire. Here's why. goes down laundry list of things I already told people prior to a flame ever getting caught. I will say this, if you ever want to lose, like, I get that a lot of people generally have a low faith in humanity at the moment, but if you ever want to lose more, get into maintenance work. It's like, hey, the safety regulations are this. It's like everybody around is like, yeah, but are they really? Yes, the regulations actually are explicitly this. Yeah, but I mean, come on. No, come on. Yes, do not do this. Keep desks and other things at least 3 feet away from every entrance, including classroom doors. Oh, you put a desk halfway in front of the classroom door? Yeah, that's a fire hazard. Please move it.
Have you gotten revered with the guild yet?
Well, yes, I am.
And you're flying away from Orgrimmar.
Yes.
You need to get a helmet.
I don't have the money for it anyway.
There's a guild bank and there's a me.
And both can wait.
It's more heirloom gear. It must be done.
Yeah, it's not an emergency.
That's true. See, I'm a horrible Jew. I just throw money at everything.
You're an inverse Jew. You're the anti. You're the anti-Jew.
I'm the anti-Jew. Oh, you were trying. You're like, is this too far? This might be a little bit too far? It's like, no, that is perfect. Oh.
Asmo is Groot, but only says, "Can you move?" instead of "Impor, please move." Yeah, pretty much unironically. Actually, weirdly enough, there's this one teacher. I think his name is... Well, sorry, I can't say his name. But there's this one teacher that loves to talk. Like, he cannot keep, like, an interact. I don't want to, like, be too rude, because he is nice. He's friendly. But he just doesn't stop. And it's pretty incessant. Like, it's... And I think the part that annoys me most is I don't reciprocate. I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm trying to do my work. Like, I'm on the clock. You know, I gotta clean up everything. We gotta check, we gotta check everything. We gotta do safety protocols. Like, there's a bunch of stuff I gotta do. And I don't have any really time to chat. Like, as it is, my breaks are pretty strict. Like, it's 15 minutes on the dot, then back to work, then 30 minutes for lunch, back to work, 15 minutes on the dot, back to work, clock out. And we're held to that pretty strictly. So I don't have a lot of time to be idle and, like, conversing back and forth. It also doesn't help that the other 2 maintenance workers for the building also are, well, one of them's an older lady, and, she's alright. And she gets work done at an efficient pace, but she also likes to chat. And then the other maintenance worker other than me and her, is a much older guy who is retiring come December. And he's in fuck it mode mentally on site. So every day he's just kind of cruising. So he'll stop and, like, not only will he have full conversations, he will, like, stand in front of the cameras on purpose and just kind of lean and talk to people.
They're not gonna fire me. I'm retiring anyway.
Honestly, like, he's at that point. He really does not care. And not to say he doesn't do his work. He does. He knows to do his work to the best of his ability, but he doesn't really care if it's done quickly or if it's done efficiently. He doesn't stress about anything, and that's good and bad. It's good for himself. Like, it's good for him to kind of wrap things up on a less stressful note, but it can be
frustrating to work with.
Yeah, like, there was one night I was actually afraid he was going to get in trouble because he was talking a lot more than usual. And like, we started the shift, and we were, like, leaving our office area, and we were going past the cafeteria area, and he saw two other staff that he started talking to. I go and start my section, and I do my section for a whole half hour. I have to go back past to our office to get some supplies, and he's still there, talking to them. He hasn't moved an inch. So I'm worried he's going to get in trouble, because it's a whole half hour. He has not even touched his section yet. So out of concern, I went and did his garbage for him, and did some cleanup for him. And I was able to get all that done, and he still wasn't, like, wrapped up chatting with the other guys for another hour. Like, he started work proper only 15 minutes before our first break. Now, we still got all the essentials and all the important stuff done that night, but that's the most concerning time I think he's ever pushed it, is just chat. I don't get it. I don't even like chatting. For me, like, at work in particular, conversing is simply another tool of the job. Like, if there's an emergency or something wrong happens, I'll ask questions, I'll inform, or I will convey information when people need to have it conveyed. It's not really social time for me. I might chat with my coworkers at break, but it's pretty brief, and usually I let them talk about what they want to talk about. I don't really have much to say.
I made 2 swords.
Oh, cool. My girlfriend behind me is forging molds out of resin. He's chewish. Chewbacca's really just chewish. But yeah, I don't know. I will say this I think for my coworkers, they never said anything to me, but I'm sure I'm not, like, a pleasant person to work with. I'm not rude, I wouldn't say. I just don't talk. You know, it doesn't help that the reason I guess I don't socialize too much at work, outside of just trying to be efficient, is I've been burned too many times by office politics. And I've found that when you talk too much, what you're inadvertently doing is giving coworkers who don't like you ammunition.
I wish that wasn't true.
Yeah. I'm sure we all do. The jokes are terrible. You know. I don't think the Jewish one was terrible. It was alright. Boom. Yeah, there's no way your jokes are any, like, that much more substantially worse than my own, I assure you. Don't worry, your jokes are worse. Nah. What does the gamer say when he's on a roller coaster? I don't know. What does he say?
Oh, I can't equip that. That's...
Trying to remember where all the nodes are.
Iron?
Yeah, iron and, technically Mulgars, or what is this little sliver called? The Crossroads.
Mm,
I opened it.
Which is technically, if we're talking like lore-wise, regionally speaking, it's Mulgore, but whatever.
I am sending you. There it is. I am sending you a guide to show you where stuff is.
No. Real quick. I can't ever get it open. Is there a film on it?
Yep. Sorry, my girlfriend needed help opening a cauldron. Like a mini one. Full of resin. Alright.
Wait. Okay.
Shopping list? I ain't buying ore, I'm grinding for it.
You know what?
You sent me a shopping list.
No, I didn't.
Well, the guide, one of the first things in the guide is shopping list.
Yeah, if you scroll down to the level that you're at, so it's a mining and smelting list. So if you want to do it just smelting, you can buy the ore and smelt it all the way up, or it shows you where to mine further down.
Okay. I'd prefer to mine it. I'm stingy with buying the mats.
You're stingy with buying heirloom gear. Let's be honest.
I mean, yeah, it's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
The Battle Sky is usually a good spot for ore. Wait, what does the gamer say when he was on a roller coaster? He says, "Wee." That one was funny. I think. How did the refugee get out of Iraq? He said Iran. Okay, that one's funny. These are very strong dad jokes.
Oh, okay, that already. Okay.
Here's a question for you, Liz. Any thoughts on? I know you haven't played it, but maybe you've kept up on the news of it. I haven't, to be fair. Any thoughts on Midnight, the new released expansion?
That garbage? No, I have no thoughts. It is beneath me.
Yeah.
In all honesty, I thought about possibly giving it a try, but I have no desire to.
I don't
Hold on one
either.
second.
Oh, right. I guess I'll just share my thoughts. Yeah, I don't really have any desire to play it either. Because as it stands right now, I've kind of given, like, well, not kind of, I have given up 100% on, like, narratively where Warcraft is going. I gave up on it really kind of end of WoD, but definitively in BFA. Like, BFA was such a shit show. There's no really coming back from that. And the clips I saw on YouTube of Dragonflight's story with the Avengers, there's a moment where if you put it with the Avengers theme, like it's 1-to-1, like it's such a stupid scene too, because it's Alex Straza and then that like fiery elemental primal dragon dude, And he's like, and you'll die here alone. And he even like slowly like holds up his axe weapon, and with every syllable he leans in, pauses, leans in, pauses. It's like, dude, fucking swing the axe already. Like, it felt so cartoony. And I was like, what has WoW become? It's got less teeth than a PG-13 Avengers movie.
That's not really my problem. It's got less story than a PG-13 Avengers movie.
I mean,
they have literally run out of stuff to be threats. So now they're just like, oh, this could be a threat, but we'll take it up on a grand scale. And it's like, nah, don't do that. Please don't do that.
yeah.
Nanny,
Me?
do you think that's the color of the Felix Felice's potion?
It's a bit more gold than I remember it being, but it's not incredibly off.
Looks pretty accurate.
Relatively, yeah.
Okay. I feel like I put too much pro powder beads in it.
It looks fine to me.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with these queues today.
Yeah, they're really slow.
Well, it's not even just that.
Speak of the devil.
You just popped.
Yep. Although, let's see if everyone actually checks off.
Yeah. I'm queued up as a healer, and I'm still waiting.
Yeah. I mean, it's understandable. I think for the majority of people who have been playing MOP, I think most are playing TPC right now, and then a small percentage have gone to midnight. So
I can't imagine why.
They're addicts, man. There are people who, despite all reason, logic, and evidence, will continue to go back and play the same bullshit.
Okay, I'm an addict, but I have fucking standards, my friend.
So do I. No, some people are just kind of hopeless. It's just they gave up on WoW's story a long time ago. Now they just play for the mechanics and for the grind. And
I will make a bold statement.
Okay.
I would almost bet that you would enjoy WoD Classic more than you would Midnight.
I mean, yeah, that's a given. I mean, as much as what I dislike about Mists. Well, what I dislike about Mists has very little to do with, like, the in-game content or, like, the raids of Mists.
I didn't say Mists, I said WoD.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I misheard entirely. WoD?
Yeah.
No.
I said I would bet you enjoy WoD Classic more than,
I wouldn't
more
play,
than Midnight.
I wouldn't play WoD Classic is the thing, man.
That does not change the fact that it would still be more enjoyable.
I mean, I guess, but it's like, hey, is AIDS more enjoyable than cancer? Sure.
I don't know. Let's ask Freddie Mercury.
Oh god.
Hey, you took it down a dark path. I just drove us off the cliff.
I went generically dark. You went specifically dark.
And you know what? I like Freddie Mercury, so I can make that joke. Freddie Mercury was a really cool guy, actually.
I know very little about his actual personal story.
I did, and then I saw clips from Bohemian Rhapsody, and then I started doing some research into it. And he's actually a really cool dude.
I'm sure. Wasn't he gay? I can't remember if he was gay.
Well, there's speculation that he was bi.
Okay. I mean, if he was bi, he's
So-
just another rock star in that regard, then.
For the longest time, he was assumed to be gay, but he supposedly has a love child now, and all this good stuff. So, Undead Nerd is setting out, and also, have you considered joining Rumble?
I'm on Rumble, technically. I just don't upload there, like, ever. I started uploading there, like, a few years ago, but it didn't really catch on. Problem is, Rumble has a very finite audience over there, and I would argue most people on Rumble are there for political reasons. They want, like, the most uncensored videos, usually covering politics, but also, like, controversial content. So, when you're someone who's doing YouTube save content, and then you're just re-uploading YouTube save content on Rumble, especially when it's not politics or, like, gritty stuff in the first place. The point is, people who are on Rumble as users and as viewers aren't really anybody that I appeal to, I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a strong, like, hobbyist presence there, but from what I've seen, there isn't. It's not really for kind of chiller content, which, as much as I dip into, like, controversial coverage of things, and I call out bullshit when I see it, it's seldom.
You don't go that far.
No, not really, and not frequently. I save it for when I have something to say about it, and it's something that frustrates me, generally speaking.
I look over and I saw the spinning, and then I got PTSD.
You got PTSD for what?
From the fucking panda monks. I don't know why, but when I was running dungeons earlier, every single monk that we got, A, was a panda, and B, was bad at being a monk.
Ironic.
And as a healer, that was just kind of, it was blah.
Yeah, I do not heal in WoW. Like a rule.
I know. I will figure out a way to get you back into healing, because...
You say back into it.
Douchebag.
I tried it. I tried it 2 times ever. And first time
Yes.
it was so fucking brutal. I don't think I could ever do it again. Like,
well, that's because douchebags, and I will find a way to remedy that. I'm not saying I'm going to make you a full-time healer. I'll just... I want to see if I can just get you to dip your toe back into it, is the thing.
the only time I healed in an MMO that didn't make me feel like shit was in FF14. And that's because that like, the people who play FF14 are very forgiving, and it's a much tighter knit, very nicer community. WoW is not. WoW is 80% assholes, 10% dickheads, and then, like, the last 10% are okay-ish people that have bad days.
Matthew Gordon said, morning.
Hey, Matthew Gordon, welcome to the stream. How you doing? Yeah, we're.
I will still figure out a way.
I mean, you can try, but it is not my forte. I have a mental PTSD. I have a. It might be a bit dramatic to say, but I have a form of PTSD around it. It is not some. It was a very bad time in my childhood. I was trying to heal for the first time in WoW, and it was horrible, the reaction I got.
Well, it's like mine. I hate healing and I hate tanking, but I will do both to reduce that queue time.
Oh, I misused that ability. Is that better than what I got? Yes it is. I'm gonna roll neat on that.
I can't do that yet.
That's a store mountain, isn't it? The mammoth?
The what?
The mammoth everyone has, the one with the 2 vendors on the fucking back of it.
Yeah, it's like 10,000 gold. It's like 14,000 gold. I don't...
Is it okay? So, but it can't be bought on the game store, right?
On the auction house? No.
Wait, I'm confused.
I think I am too. Do
It-
you mean like the in-game shop or the auction house?
The in-game shop.
No. You have to go to a vendor in Dalaran to get it.
Okay, good. I thought it was a shop item, so
No.
I was being a bit judgy that people had it, but no, if it's earnable in game, that's good. I absolutely hate the store
No.
rounds.
The new chipmunk squirrel looking things are the new thing. I hate them. They look so ridiculous.
Matthew Gordon says, when I played, mostly in Wrath, I loved my Blood Elf Death Knight. Oh yeah, DKs are, I think, a universally loved class. Both for lore and also for play. My favorite was always Frost, but Blood was probably a good follow-up. I never got into the... I keep wanting to say Plague for some reason.
Unholy.
Unholy, thank you. I never got into Unholy spec, but Frost and Blood were awesome.
Mine were Unholy Blood.
Yeah, I never got into Unholy. Everyone always said Unholy was like the answer to Necromancers. I just don't agree. Like, it definitely, you can see where they were trying to fill that desire and niche with that spec.
Unholy was the answer to the question of, what if we put an Affliction Lock and Plate Mail?
Yeah.
That's the only thing it answered.
I know it has a like a really high level ability. Maybe it's just a retail. I can't remember if it was there during Wrath, but I know it has a high level ability that's like Army of the Dead or something like that, where you can spawn in. Like...
All Death Knights have that.
All Death Knights have that? Okay, never mind.
All Death Knights have that. So in Legion, with Unholy, you got a, which was like a second Army of the Dead, and it did not taunt, and it was kind of brutal. But Army of the Dead, every Death Knight can use. Actually, I need to go and do something on my Death Knight. Now that I think about it.
I was trying to tie on the tag.
Oh, good thing it's cured, right?
Yeah, I got cured. Cured. All in directions. I'm down like four.
You're allowed to use the check. Ah, fuck, I got feared. Damn it. Alright, there. Alright, so if I recall correctly, there's a betrayal here? Yeah, did we fight? Oh, okay, yeah, we do fight these guys. Okay, I couldn't remember. Come on. Let me thunderclap them cheeks, boy.
Oh, did I give you the enchants for your weapons?
Yes, you did. I've already applied them.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking about making my paladin alt an enchanter for profession.
I would do it either a priest, a warlock, or a mage.
Priest, warlock, or a mage. I mean, for other than thematic reasons, why?
because one of those could be your tailor and enchanter. The two set up really well together. And having a cloth armor do tailoring just makes more sense. Well, to me.
I mean, yeah, that does track, yeah.
I can't do that.
Motherfucker, polymorphed my ass.
I only have one enchanter, and I do kind of regret it. So take what I say with a massive grain of salt.
This desert be mine.
If I remember correctly, I got the job in the guild I was in for doing all the leather stuff and mining. From Matthew Gordy. Well, so I'm the one who runs the guild now. It's kind of like a family and friends guild. And I run all the professions and all the other stuff. So I'm not worried about... I'm more concerned about what I can do to provide Asmo with stuff to level up his professions, even though he keeps refusing to take it.
Yeah, you did.
I need to go to here.
Overjumped. It's definitely one of the weirder dungeons, I gotta say.
Yeah, it's all Farak, yeah.
That would be stealing.
Man. I got my first place in my main guild for the longest time when I was a kid. I first joined at the end of TBC, start of Wrath, and I got invited in because I did a dungeon with them at one random point, and I tanked it apparently really, really well. So they were like, "Hey, yeah, let's, you know, you want to join the guild? We noticed you're in a guild." I'm like, "Yeah, sure."
Something similar happened to me in Legion. I ended up healing for a guild, and they really liked it. And they're like, "Yo, you want to come join our raid team?" Okay, why not? Then I ended up being one of their top DPS.
Ironic. Yeah, I was probably the second most avid tank for our guild, all the way through Wrath. We were a pretty tight-knit friend group in guild for the entire time of Wrath. And at the very beginning of Kata, although the guild fell apart really quickly into Kata. Not even necessarily because of Kata, although we had a couple people leave because they weren't satisfied with the game direction. But most people, the reason the guild fell apart was other reasons. Hey, yeah, I'll queue up with this group again. Why not?
One day I may open up the guild to like viewers on YouTube for both me and Asmo, but right now I'm just trying to get it. I'm trying to get it organized, and I have a lot going on right now.
Yeah.
Asma knows about all the stuff I got going on in college and my the issues I have going on medically right now, and I think some days you're surprised I function.
I'm surprised you function every day.
I don't know how to take that.
No, I see you as a very durable human being.
Oh, I mean, yeah. What's that saying? If you're gonna be dumb, you gotta be tough. I
Yep.
mean, fuck it. Fuck if I didn't take that one literally. Oh, you're doing Strathholm.
Yep. I'm hearing a lot of ows.
Yeah, because I'm trying to open the portal. Another portal.
Wait a second.
These things
She's
don't-
having issues with those cauldrons.
Yeah, they put a pretty tight seal on them. For good reason.
Oh,
I mean,
by
it's
the way-
resin. Wow.
The next time I drop a coin, which should be here in a couple weeks, a WoW token, I'm getting you a gift off the AH if there is one on the AH.
You don't have to.
I want to.
Okay.
A motorcycle.
Oh, is it that the motorcycle mount that allows you to mount up even at low level? Or am I thinking of something else?
No.
Okay,
No.
good.
That one is I don't even think they put it in yet.
Hopefully they don't.
Well, no, they're going to. It was an achievement you get for having like 20 some heirlooms. No, I got the full on Mechanahawk. Why am I not flying? I am special.
Just a little bit special.
Just a little bit special. I have a flying mount in Northrend, and I have cold weather flying, but I was running on the ground. Not like it's safer and quicker if you're flying. Let's see. How be... Yep, that looks like I'd be the final grade, and well, damn. Oh well. I will be right back.
Alright. Alright, that time dragged me into Wrath when I was going into college, and he ran the guild and I was DPS off tank. Nice. Making progress. Fucking monks.
See? 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 I told you.
This is just the twirling of death. Why can they spam twirling? I can't spam twirling.
I do not like monks. After the run that I've had in Dungeon Finder with them, I'm over them.
They're fucking everywhere too. And it is Mist, so that would track for Mist Classic.
Oh, here's a lore question for you.
Wow.
What came first, Pandaren or Kung Fu Panda?
Pandaren. Back in Warcraft 3, there was the custom
Or 3.
campaign.
Actually, I think it was Warcraft 2.
I don't
Yeah,
know about
Pandaren.
Warcraft 2. I don't remember Pandaren in Warcraft 2. I do know definitively in Warcraft 3 in the custom campaign with Rexxar, one of the optional side heroes you could get was a Pandaren Mistweaver.
Shen Stormstout.
Yeah. And he was actually a pretty fun character.
Well, even still in the regular campaign, I'm trying to think of which one it was. I want to think orc or human. I'm leaning heavily towards orc, but I know I'm probably wrong. You could actually unlock a Pandaren hero.
I do not know.
Yeah, not many people know that, and they're like, "Well, WoW ripped off Kung Fu Panda." Yeah, other way around. I might have to. It's looking more and more like I'm gonna have to repeat my psychology class.
I'm sorry,
Oh, well.
man.
Eh, be what it be.
Yeah.
It was mostly my fault, but it would be a lot more frustrating. Well, I'm pretty close to passing with a D. But I'm not close enough where it's like the teacher could have skewed me like 0.2 points and then I wouldn't have to worry about it. No, it's not that close. It's close enough to be okay, like this was my fault. Matthew Gordon, my roommate at the time, dragged me into Wrath when I was going to college. He ran the guild and I was the DPS off-tank. I remember being the off-tank. I hated that.
I hated being off tank. When I was primary tank, it was better because I knew my expectations. With off tanking, usually it was a mix of frustration with dealing with organization with the group. And I never loved off tanking. I don't know. Maybe this doesn't make sense, but I always felt like I was the bitch when I would play off tank.
There was only one time when I off-tanked that I didn't feel like I was completely useless, and that was when me and my dad was the main tank and I was the off-tank. And
the coordination's probably better when you actually
the coordination was
fucking this
so much better because we were in the same room at that point.
I despised off tank. Main tanking was great. Off tanking, no.
Off-tanking, you've got to be really good at communicating. And South Single. Oh yeah, I just respect my my primary spec for my Death Knight.
Oh, what'd you respect to?
I took him from Frost and took him down to Unholy.
Oh, really?
I wanted to give Frost an honest try, and it was okay, just not my thing.
I think we're going through the dungeon.
Yay, you're one level away from being able to use some of the potions I sent you. Some of the elixirs I sent you.
Yep. Dungeon spam, most effective way to level Wrath and onward. Sadly. I was talking about it with Litany the other day, but I do gotta say that pre-Dungeon
I
Finder...
don't like where this is going.
What?
Just the way you sighed in between it. I was like, oh no, this is gonna be bad, isn't it?
I don't know, but I would say that with this is the obvious, but I think most people would agree that Dungeon Finder definitely killed the social aspect of dungeoning and like preparing to do dungeons. But I think another big thing it incentivized was making dungeons way easier, because well, all the content got nerfed hard, Kata and onwards. Like they just made everything piss easy. But I
don't think that was necessarily because of Dungeon Finder, though.
Well, no, not exclusively. But with dungeons, you can kind of see it in the design once they added Dungeon Finder, especially in the full-scale, like, versions you see in Kata and stuff onward with every expansion. Like, the dungeons stopped being, like, these difficult challenges that pushed your teamwork skills and your knowledge of your class to the absolute limit. Hey, Lane Lunatic, how you doing, buddy? It turned into a conveyor belt. It's like, okay, here's the dungeon, here's boss, here's boss, here's boss, here's boss. Zip right through, get your victory, get your little bag at the end, you get your little goodie, and then you fuck off. You can do them blindfolded, pretty much, as long as everyone's even half attempting to do their class right. And
then there's people like me who do not give a shit anymore.
It's just really disappointing, like how the dungeon design really shifted into this idea of it being a conveyor belt. It's like, okay, yeah, the players do this to level quickly. So, you know, we'll have a theme of the dungeon, we'll have a general like outline of it, but the idea is that it will be zipped through. The quests or the side activities they put in the dungeon are usually very basic and just, hey, kill boss, kill boss, kill boss, and some extra XP the first time you do it. It got, like, the actual dungeon itself became just really mindless. And I remember when, like, you look back at Vanilla or TBC, dungeons were not an effective way to level on their own at all. They were great for gear, but they weren't great for leveling. Also the amount of resources and prep you had to do for a dungeon back in the day wasn't minor. You needed food, you needed water, or some kind of liquids for the mages to recover mana. You needed breaks in the dungeon where you guys would beat a boss and you'd have to hold up so everyone could reapply buffs, reapply, you know. The idea of a dungeon back in the day was that it was slow, methodical, and it was like a dungeon in a D&D campaign. It was very hazardous, very difficult, and it required you to coordinate. It was supposed to be the ultimate test of everything you'd learned up to that juncture with your class, but also with your communication abilities with the other players. It was not a conveyor belt at all. You thought about every single part of the dungeon you went through. And that has not been the truth, Kata and onward. It's just the design and the spirit of it doesn't feel like it's there anymore. And
yeah,
it is kind of disappointing. I guess that's one of many reasons I prefer TBC Classic over Mists or Wrath or anything like that. It's just because it does not have Dungeon Finder, and the dungeon, and not also, but even outside the Dungeon Finder itself, the philosophy of the dungeon design and of the dungeon's mechanics, as well as the balancing of the mobs within the dungeon prior to Wrath and prior to Kata, was this is supposed to be a very difficult piece of content. This is supposed to be something that a player has to coordinate for, has to plan for. Yeah, it may not be like a raid where you prepare for like a whole week in advance, but it is something your players do need to take hours of time and proper communication to even get ready for. Like a D&D dungeon, you thought about it. You prepped for it. There was a cycle for it that just doesn't exist anymore.
Almost done.
Yeah. In fact, we just finished up. Alright. Why are you doing all of them at one go?
Because I don't want the resin light to harden the top layer of it. That's why. Better to keep them all closed. Don't look at me like that.
What? I don't understand your logic.
You don't have to understand my logic.
Okay.
Let me see this.
Not bad, short day. Okay, good. It's a short day. Hey, Nico. Hello, we back on the grind. Yes, we are. I just did 2 dungeons in a row. See, I get anything decent? I think that's better than what I had. Ooh. I lose strength though with a new plate. I definitely need that strength more than I need the other stats. Oh, fuck.
I did something stupid.
What is the stupid thing that you did?
I'm the healer and I stood in the fire.
Why?
Because I was trying to heal.
Have
I was
you
trying to
learned
out-heal the
nothing?
fire.
Have you learned nothing?
I was trying to out-heal the damage the fire was doing, and I did a really bad job of it.
Naughty, naughty.
I know, you would think that me of all people would know better, as much as I bitch about healing.
Organize my bag here. There you go.
I'm from the resin.
Hey. That is my boob.
I'm checking for cancer.
I'm pretty sure there's none in there.
It's probably my worst excuse. Alrighty. Actually, do I have enough? Probably get some more iron before I go back. Yeah, back. Gonna eat leftover dinner and feed the doggo. Yes, very important. Feed the doggo. You on the grind? I'm keeping on. Gonna hunt down some more iron, and then I'm gonna head back to Orgrimmar. Actually, let me check my rep with the guild. Am I still... Yeah, revered. Oh, shoot. Almost passed a node. Meanwhile, me as a tank main and other games standing in the bad both to keep epitome. No, uptime. Why did I read that as epitome? Keep uptime and ensure melee can get positionals. Yes, I'm assuming that other game is FF14. Or am I wrong? I might be wrong. This coffee isn't waking me up, and I want to put together more K-47 stuff and bolt action. All right, well, what's your mixture? What are you putting in your coffee? Is it black?
If it's not kerosene, it's not working.
It's not kerosene. What?
What?
If it's not kerosene, it's not working.
Yes.
All right. Well, assuming you're using more than a mild brew, my good Matthew Gordon, don't put too much sugar because sugar will lead you to a crash. I'd say like no more than 2 spoonfuls, and I mean teaspoons, not tablespoons. And go easy on the creamer, or use powdered creamer. like really basic shit. That way the actual caffeine in the coffee is what gets you going. It's one of those ready to drink things, but I'll probably make army coffee. Army coffee? So black and quick.
Army coffee.
Yeah, army coffee, at least my understanding of it, maybe I'm wrong. My understanding of army coffee is just black coffee. There's no creamer, there's no sugar, no nonsense.
That is
know what?
incorrect.
What? I'm incorrect. Alright, what is army coffee then?
So, when coffee is situated by way of the armed forces, the two stronger ones are Army coffee or Marine coffee, also colloquially called mud. When you make the coffee, you know how you put the grinds in the coffee pot?
Yeah?
With
Oh, you just put
Army
it in
and
the
Marine.
water?
No, you put more.
Ah, what more?
And Marine coffee has been known to be a little bit thick.
I can believe it.
By the way, you know what the official slang for coffee is in the military? It's well, if you're streaming, then it's a good idea not to say it. Let's just say that.
Does it have the N-word in it?
It might just have the N-word in it.
Oh, gold. I should find a gold vein out here.
You found gold.
I love gold.
A taste of it, a smell. A texture. Do we need to do a marathon of Austin Powers one day?
I was thinking one day we gotta do also, like, next Halloween we should do a marathon of the Dead series. So, like, Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, the original. I'm gonna talk about the originals, and Day of the Dead.
Yeah, that'd be very nice. Especially because I saw the Almighty Lollies video on the Of the Dead series. It's very interesting.
Who?
The Almighty Lolly? You know, the one that did that, the one who does all the interesting YouTube reviews where he talks about, you know, them in depth. You know what? I'll link you one of his videos. Maybe you'll recognize it.
Okay. Doesn't sound like I know this person.
Really? That's odd. But it's okay.
Huh?
Well, he did. You may recognize the fact that he did like a huge. He's the one who has like the biggest video on Berserk. Like the 21 hours. Oh, okay.
I have not watched that long of a video on Berserk.
Okay. Well, I recommend his channel anyway. It's
Okay.
good stuff. Yeah.
Oh, I know this guy. I've only watched one video from him though. It's his Punisher breakdown.
Oh yeah, it's really good. Oh.
It's about on par with yours.
Yeah, well, mine's a lot shorter and more so about getting people into the comic books.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, it still provides
yeah.
detail and like insight and personal opinion on the character.
Thanks.
Oh.
Yeah, I try.
My personal favorite Punisher media is Punisher Max for the comics.
Good.
And
Very good.
Season 1 of the Netflix Punisher was all right. I kind of like the was it a 90s movie or early 2000s? I can't remember, but the
You mean the one with Thomas Jane?
yes. I
That's
I
the
think-
2000. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite film. Or yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Well, I love that one and also Punisher Warzone, especially if you just want to have a fun time with friends. Ironically, Punisher Warzone is actually the closest to the comic, especially with the casting. Ray Stevenson, holy hell, he just was the perfect choice.
Yeah, it's more of an Punisher Warzone is more of the very very action oriented, which is appropriate for the Punisher character. But I think I prefer the other movie more.
Which is understandable.
Yeah, I think it gets
It's a
more of
good-
a capture of the character alongside some action, but it's not balls to the wall like crazy. I think Punisher Warzone like kind of loses me a couple times in it.
Well, it's very ridiculous, especially with
It's very over the top.
It's very over the top, and if you're in the right mood for some dumb fun action, it is right there. But if you want a bit more of a serious take, then yeah, obviously you go for the 2001. Which, funny enough, by the way, I don't know if I said this in the video, but basically the 2000s movie, it is a combination of two Punisher stories. It is Punisher Year One, the one I covered, and also Welcome Back, Frank. And it's a perfect combination of the two. Like, it even has full-blown references, like full-on. Some comic panels feel like they were almost lifted entirely. It's like it is so good. And I will say, I do like. While I'm not the biggest fan of John Bernthal's portrayal, I do like him in Daredevil Season 2. Really good. It's like, I love the approach because it's when he is at his most. It's when he just had lost his family. So understandably, he's a lot more rage-filled than the calm, demented. The calm and calculated type. And also that rooftop scene.
Yeah,
it's really good. Absolutely. Season 1 felt a very scattershot to me. It kind of felt like it didn't know what it wanted to be half the time. And
really, because I kind of got that feeling from Season 2 more than I got from Season 1.
Well, I'm not the biggest fan of how one of the villains, Jigsaw, comes about because it's just.
Yeah, I think they in an effort to ground the story more, I think they reserved the character a bit. That character is definitely meant to be a bit more over the top as a villain, but it's also because he lost his fucking mind. He got like shredded up by the Punisher,
which is funny because technically that also happens. But okay, so in the original story, right? If I'm allowed to do a little, well, actually, in the original story in Year One, basically the Punisher goes. This is basically like the build-up of the whole thing. This is like the final showdown. Now, he massacres everyone, but he leaves the one guy that will eventually become Jigsaw. And basically, to send a message to the other criminals when the police have just finally arrived and like showing their searchlights directly at the Punisher. He basically pushes him through. I don't know if it was bulletproof glass, but basically he pushes him through, which literally absolutely scars his face completely.
I think and I get that's that sounds like his disfigurement was like a bit more incidental with like pushing him through the glass, whereas I do like the brutality that the Netflix show decided to do with that, where Bernthal's Punisher actually like forces his face into the glass and shreds him against it. It felt more visceral and it felt more appropriate. Also, to be fair, the writing around the Jigsaw character in that is... So by the sounds of it, from Year One in the comics, he was just like a happenstance criminal to get that treatment. Whereas
Kinda, but also not. But yeah.
Well, I guess you would know better than me. But in the show, Jigsaw is partially responsible for Frank's family getting killed. So that's why he gets such a personal, brutal shredding and like a more visceral. In my opinion, also makes it more satisfying. Where
Yeah.
you know Punisher goes such a brutal path with him directly. Actually, in my opinion, the one thing I definitely didn't like in the show is how the Punisher finishes off Jigsaw. You know, in the basement after he's called his friend to be his brother land this time, but instead he calls Frank. Frank shows up and just shoots him. I think I go back and forth on that kill, but I think personally I don't like that he just kind of shoots him and calls it good. Like,
Yeah.
it especially following up, shredding his face, and then everything else that's happened since. To me, it came off like they just ran out of an idea there to finish Jigsaw off. I would have preferred a more brutal death for him than that. And they didn't need to necessarily do the disfigurement thing again, but, like, have it more than just Frank pulling a piece, shooting him, and walking away.
Yeah, it felt incredibly anticlimactic. But also, I don't like that. I really don't like season 2, mainly because of the. So.
Oh, before we get into that, 1 second. Hello, NoLike9334. Explain, please, why MOP is fun. Personally, for me, it's not that fun. What makes MOP fun for me is my buddy Ludus plays it. That's the long and short of it. If you want fun in WoW, I'd say play TBC Classic, Hardcore Classic, or like Vanilla Classic. MOP is fun if you like busy work and you don't mind spamming dungeons. Basically, if you want to do something casually while putting on a movie or something on the side, MOP is pretty good. But I would personally...
And it's fun with friends.
And it's fun with friends, but like a lot of things are, to be honest. So,
Yeah, fair.
yeah, MOP is for me on its own is not as fun as something like TBC or Hardcore Vanilla. Yeah, yeah, I'm playing Anniversary TBC. Thanks for clarification. You're welcome. I think. Yeah, but I'd be playing TBC right now if my buddy Ludus didn't prefer MOP.
This is going to be so divisive if it becomes WAD.
I mean, yeah, I don't know if I'll keep playing with you at that point, but I really don't. Like, I can handle MOP for like co-play because there's still some fun elements to it, and some of the end game content's pretty fun. But it's WAD comes around. I don't know. I don't know if I can do that.
Oh no, it's fine.
WAD is one. The biggest fucking... I won't say it was a bait and switch, because technically they didn't lie, but they didn't tell the full truth either of what WAD was supposed to be, especially with the Garrison stuff. Garrison was just terrible.
You know, this is where I'm going to be kind of the asshole here. I love the Garrison.
I know you do, but that's because you are a bit more of a solo player when it comes to WoW to begin with.
That's true.
For me, it's always been a social game. Like the whole draw, well, not the whole draw, but a big draw of it was that it was an MMORPG. I liked the queuing. I liked the lack of having to queue up for dungeons. I liked that dungeons were so difficult. I liked that you had to talk and coordinate and had to prepare for high-end content. It made it feel so satisfying when you successfully made it through it. You know, we already had this conversation earlier, but
yeah,
it's. I liked the content when it was a big challenge and it really forced you to treat the MMO like an MMO. Like, you have to work with people, you have to communicate. It is an open world full of people, and there are challenges you cannot and should not overcome on your own.
This will sound vaguely familiar. Lightning Lunatic said I left WoW during WAD. I just did not like it. Yeah, a lot of people didn't. I'm in the minority.
Yeah, most people did not. If you were more of a solo player, I will say this: if you're a solo player who plays WoW, you've been eating good for when did Kata come out? Jeez.
No. Kata fuck things up. Don't.
It did fuck things up, and it made things better for solo players, though.
No, it did not. I will fight that one. No, it did not.
That's when the open world leveling got a lot fucking easier. A lot fucking easier.
Havoc also said, to be frank, Asma, if you did continue playing until a WAD update, you would still not be playing together because you'd both be sitting in Garrison. That's not true either.
And outside of queuing for dungeons together, you're kind of right.
No, because there's open world. There's questing content.
Yeah, but questing content's already super
Oh.
fucking easy. Like, it's kind of why it's not.
questing content from WAD.
Yeah, but well, you like it
Ugh.
for the story, or you like it for like the arcs you do there, but it's not balanced for co-play. Like WoW as a whole hasn't been balanced for co-play when it comes to questing since Kata. Like Kata is what made the game really fucking easy. It's actually one of the reasons, and this is kind of just shit on another MMO, although one I do still like, but for different reasons. SWTOR kind of has the same problem, where SWTOR, Star Wars: The Old Republic, for those who don't know the one I'm talking about, SWTOR, when it first came out, had actually very difficult mobs in the game, but then later on they nerfed the whole world, every open world, into basically being piss easy. As long as you were within 5 levels of whatever you were fighting, you could easily take it. Especially with your companion and that mechanic. And my opinion is the same as it is for Kata. The moment they nerfed the open world mobs and they made leveling piss easy is when the game became kind of a background thing you did while you did other shit. Like you stopped caring about it. And that's very true for World of Warcraft. Kata onward, the game has more and more been appealing to solo players. It's all about satisfying people's want to be able to play this open world, but not live it like an open world. And they take a lot. They've taken away an infinite amount of challenge since Kata. So, like, you if you want to play with other players nowadays, the game is diametrically opposed to that play now. Like if you want to play with your friends for questing, you're both are gonna get really bored very quickly because you're gonna kill mobs before blinking. So unless you're having fun by, joking around with each other and talking, really, it's just it doesn't feel worth it to quest together. So questing's really out. Really the only social stuff that exists in the game post-Kata was kinda sorta dungeon crawling. That's just to make queues faster, really. And still has the same problem where because the design philosophy for dungeons shifted Kata and onward to making it more of a conveyor belt where you didn't really need to think about the mobs, you really didn't need to think about the challenge of the bosses. There's really very few mechanics outside of new people that get fucked up. But dungeons are, at least because they are forcing you into a social situation, you can excuse that as like content you can do with friends.
I had a... Actually, 2 questions. So, would you say it's relatively easy to become very overpowered within modern day WoW? Or
Compared to the open world NPCs, yes. Very. Like, you will out-level and outpower. Like, if we're talking retail, like retail, yeah, instantaneously. You will be more powerful than you. Technically, at level 1, you can just take your character, run them into a mob of red mobs, which means they're actively hostile, that are like 2 levels ahead of you. And if you just use your normal abilities and you like aggro 4 or 5 of them, you will not die. You will kill all of them before you die.
Damn.
And compare that to vanilla, TBC, or even Wrath. You draw more than 2 mobs on your ass that are equal or 1 or 2 levels higher than you, you will die. Doesn't matter what class. Paladins being really the only exception because they have the bubble, but even then they don't get the bubble at the earliest level. So, actually, what level is the bubble in like TBC Wrath era?
I don't know.
Can't remember. I think it's like level 10 or above. I don't know. I know it's early on overall, but I know it's not like at the very beginning. So, but assuming you don't even have your bubble yet, you're dead if you drag more than a couple mobs on your ass. The balancing in the game, Wrath and Prior, especially in the early zones, is really hard. The game, even in the leveling, kind of incentivizes you to party up with other people if you want to optimize play and you want to optimize grinds. You can solo play the open world. Solo players have always been a while, by the way. I do want to make that clear. That's always been a form of play. It's just if back in the day, the game did not cater to you if you were a solo player. You were kind of going against the grain, like vanilla, TBC, and Wrath as a solo player. The game actively catered to the inverse of your playstyle. And you kind of... If you were a solo player, it was more impressive if you made it to max level. What?
They're all a different color.
Oh yeah, you didn't notice that?
Bronze, silver, and gold.
Uh-huh.
I didn't notice that until just now.
Really?
Really?
I saw that before.
I didn't.
To answer your previous question, Asmo, the bubble you get at level 18.
Naughty.
18?
Aw,
18.
Okay.
adorable.
So the
Okay,
queue
so
popped and someone instantly declined.
Wow.
Motherfuckers.
Not a bitch.
But yeah, yeah, the balancing has been completely screwed. Kata and onward, the philosophy got shifted really hard from Blizzard to making the game as easy and as soft to approach as possible. Yeah, Kata and onward, it
Curious.
became more and more a solo player game.
Be curious if WoW would ever make like a survivors game like Vampire Survivors, but with World of Warcraft.
It kind of
Considering
exists.
how overpowered you can get.
So when you say survivor game, like, what do you mean specifically?
It's kind of exactly like Vampire Survivors, but with like WoW characters or like abilities, and they just stack on top of them and become uber powerful. Because that sounds kind of like the situation with how bad the balancing is. Like, it's gotten so bad that it may as well just be like Vampire Survivors.
I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know how they would do that. Vampire Survivor is a roguelite, so.
Yeah, I know. It was just a thought in my mind.
I call that EVE Online.
EVE Online.
EVE Online. I've never played EVE Online.
I have, for the benefit of living here. It's, I will say, if you are into, like, ship design and role-playing, like, a space sim, whether you want to be a pirate, whether you want to be an ore miner, or if you want to be, like, a soldier or something like that, you can do a lot of these things. And it's good, it's...
Quick question,
Listen,
Nico. Is your mic plugged in all the way?
It should be. Why?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a crinkle. Maybe it's just on my end, but I hear a little bit of a crinkle noise.
Hang on. What about now?
Keep talking?
Can you still hear the crinkle?
Yes, a little bit when you, like, start talking.
Okay, hang on. Let me try plugging it out and back in.
Just give him a second. I don't hear him at all now.
Yeah, it's because he dropped out of the call.
Okay. Okay, Lightning says he hears it as well. Yeah, but I'm assuming you hear it because I hear it, so I don't know if it's like my signal or if it's his.
No, it was coming through on me too.
Okay, so it's probably some kind of minor error. Wow, my inventory's full. Yeah, let me go sell the junk. Junk.
And how about now? Do you still hear the crinkle?
Nope, I don't hear the crinkle.
No.
Yeah, okay. So I just had to. So I found a way to actually fix the headset from it constantly shutting down. I just have to update the controller with the headset attached. So, very neat little trick.
Very useful.
Ah, yes. Don't have to buy a new one.
Minor error, mind wrong ore.
My roar. Wow. Yeah. Well, yeah. Everything to do with like the main gameplay of being a space exploration game. It's great. Everything else is kind of just extra. I mean, they had a whole FPS game way back in the day that I was actually a fan of, even though it was buggy as all hell. Dust 514. It was meant to be like their own version of like Call of Duty, or more so Planet Side, but like attached to like the Eve universe. And it was launching right at the end. It launched on the PlayStation right at the end of its life cycle. So should have launched on PC. That's all I will say.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but it's whatever. It's not for everyone, I will say. I will say it is probably the closest thing to. It is the most Icelandic game ever because it's everything wants to kill you, and even the developers say the best ship in Eve is friendship. You cannot do it alone. Kind of like early WoW actually, when you think about it.
Well, that's a good thing. Yeah, like for me, like the quality and the lifeblood of an MMO is defined by its balance of challenge. Because the thing is, no MMO can survive if it absolutely does not cater to a solo player at all. But it won't survive. It won't thrive, I should say, if it also doesn't incentivize social play. I do think that FF14 gets around this by having a lot of community social features. Like, there's a lot of incentive in FF14 for the community to kind of socialize with one another outside of just, like, gameplay incentivization. There's also, it's hard to put it into words. The game doesn't force you to be social, but it makes it so easy to be social in FF14 that you just kind of get compelled to be so. I don't know if I'm wording that in a poor way, but
no, I get what you mean.
Yeah. Whereas WoW is a very different beast. WoW has some social features for sure, but it's always been social mechanically. Like back in the very core design of vanilla, TBC, and well, I won't say Wrath because Wrath added in a lot of features that kind of were the downfall of the social aspect of the MMO. But TBC and vanilla, to be sure, so much of the game was designed with the philosophy of we're going to make things difficult, we're going to make the world hard. We're not going to make it so hard that there's no way to solo play the game, but you're playing the slower, more opposed style. If you choose to solo play, you can, but it's going to be hard. But we're going to incentivize social play. It's an MMO. We're going to incentivize that the players work with each other. We're going to give them rewards appropriate for that effort of working together and that social aspects. And granted, the reason they didn't have Dungeon Finder from the outset of the game is because they didn't conceptualize it yet. You.
I had to add a little bit of the redder resin to it because I didn't have enough pink, but it looks nice.
It does.
Nice and warm too.
Hey, you
I
just
have the
cured it
cold.
right. Oh, sorry.
And I have a cut on my finger there.
Bad. But yeah, the game had a good like it didn't have the dungeon finder from the outset because it just wasn't conceptualized back in the day, and that was a good thing. And I'm sure if they had thought of it, they probably would have added something like that from the outset. But I'm glad they didn't, because WoW never would have been successful as it is or as it became if they did. Like,
Sadly, with convenience,
Yeah,
all of the social aspects.
yeah, the game became too convenient, and when things become too convenient, the investment and the dedication from the people who are involved in your world and involved in your game
Ouch.
lessen inherently.
I
Yep.
poked myself with the toothpicks. I'm okay. Still can't believe I have a cut on my finger though. Might be sticky in between two of my fingers though.
But yeah, like WoW is, WoW had a pretty good balance back in the day that it willfully lost and willfully kind of threw away. And it's not entirely on the devs. Like, the devs are 80% to blame. No, sorry. I'll split that up a bit more. They're 70% to blame. The players are the other 30%. Because a lot of the incentive for Blizzard to create like things like the Dungeon Finder and the like were from the community. The community, and when I say the community, what I should say is the solo players on the forums were bitching and moaning that the game wasn't built around them. The game was built around social play. The game was built around the incentivization of working together, and that there was a lot of systems that made it hard for a solo player to exist and thrive in the world. And what they failed to grasp was it's in the name. It's an MMORPG. Not an RPG. It's an MMORPG. What's the MMO stand for? Massively multiplayer online role-playing game.
Not massively single player online. That'd be a different concept altogether.
Yeah. So it was. It's been a source of frustration for me for years that those people on the forums who were bitching and moaning seemed to completely fail to understand the very game that they were playing, like day in and day out.
Yep.
And they ended up kind of ruining the game, honestly. Like,
It was a slow fall too, because I think it's still amazing. Because I always thought that World of Warcraft was always be kind of eternal, and in a way,
I think it's going to be. The benefit of those early days of them not adding in all those systems that they have now, and also the very smart move of to eventually release Classic, has made it so the game will never die. I would have said that if they never made Classic, WoW did have a finite lifespan at that point. Before Classic, and the only option was retail or private servers, and they were just actively destroying private servers on purpose and threatening people with legal action if they didn't put them down. Quite frankly, WoW did have a finite point where it was going to die. It might have taken years, might have taken decades, but they eventually would have alienated even the most hardcore addicts. But the moment that they gave birth to Classic and Classic servers, they have now made the game eternal. The only way the game will go down now is if Blizzard goes down, or if they're no longer, for some reason, allowed to run the servers in Asia. Like, you take away Asia and or Blizzard themselves go under for some reason, WoW will last forever. They have
it's basically the lifeline.
Well, not even just Korea, China. China's a
I know.
huge player base for WoW.
Yep.
Massive player base. Alright. What do I need for Steve? Iron and coal. Okay. Smell the silver there. What? Am I not in the forge? Alright, there we go. But yeah, hey, Drionis. The primary strength of FF14 is its story. This is from Lightning Lunatic. And every major feature is locked behind story progression. There's points where the story requires you to do dungeon content with other players. Yeah, but what I'm talking about for why it works, I agree with you that the strength of the MMO and why people are drawn to it is the story. But the reason the game thrives once people finish the story is the social aspect. Like, the game kind of incentivizes socialization. Again, not mechanically, so much as they just give the players the tools and the means to be social without it feeling overbearing. And they also police the community quite well as well, so the GMs are quite active in FF14.
Not
So
just that,
a...
but like you don't. No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say like. Also the fact that with Final Fantasy as a series, like you don't have to have any prior investment in like the other games to enjoy it, because a lot of it is self-contained most of the time.
Yeah. Havoc. Massively single player online. Ah, you mean my dating experience. Lightning Lunatic says, "Why?" Well, hopefully that doesn't remains true forever. Havoc. I wish you luck. I found my soulmate at my day job. Funny enough.
I have a band-aid.
Is it bleeding?
Kind of.
Okay. Yeah, we get you a band-aid. Alright, I'll be right back.
But it also is starting to sting, which...
Oh, Lourdes, how are things with you?
Well, I'm just noticing that it's starting to bleed slightly, so...
Lourdes?
It looks like a paper cut.
Well, I was
Okay.
using this particular finger in there while trying to clean the resin out of two of the cauldrons since they both ran out. So I'm wondering if I might have cut my finger on the opening of one of them. They're now sitting in some water and soap right now because the resin's not out completely, but I want them to just sit for a little bit. Hey, I'm trying to put a bandage.
Alright, I'm back.
Thank you.
Back.
Which is why I'm strongly opposed to the implementation of the trust NPC system. It's done more harm than good, but not just a social aspect. It's also affecting the competency of newer players. Trust system. Remind me, the trust system is when you do the instance content with the NPCs, correct? It's been a hot minute since I played, so I can't remember. I think that's what the trust system is. If correct, okay, yeah, I didn't like that either. I'm sure you were there when I said that when I was playing it actively, Lightning. But yeah, I didn't like it either. What actually kind of disturbed me wasn't just that it was there. That bothered me. But when I was streaming it, there were people who were actually upset in the chat of the streams I would do for FF14 that were upset when I chose to play with other players instead of doing the trust. That bothered me. Because that gave me a really foul taste. A very familiar foul taste as well from when Dungeon Finder became like the main thing in WoW. Like the fact that people would act... It's one thing if people just kind of submit to a system like that. The part that bothered me was that a part of the player base actively saw it as the correct and the correct and the correct and the primary way you needed to do that content, which bothered me a lot. And there were people who were actively annoyed that I was not doing that. They were like, "Oh, you're missing content. You're missing story." No, I'm not. I'm missing some dialogue I'm not going to have time to read in the middle of the mission anyway? No, I'm not missing anything. I'll tell you this. In the missions I did do the trust system, nothing the characters said was anything important. like mid-mission. Well, the important stuff they put in the cinematic at the beginning and end of the dungeon anyway. So people were just kind of full of shit with that. Now don't get me wrong, like the FF14 community has a lot of like high energy, like I would say there's an elitism in the FF14 community that's a bit disturbing, to be sure. There's a lot of like some of it I completely understand, like the anti-spoiler crowd. They're very hyper aggressive about it. Like when I did a thumbnail during not Endwalker, the prior expansion, Shadowbringers. When I did like a thumbnail of some of like my reactions to certain points in the story, I did a thumbnail that was Shadowbringers, thank you. I did a thumbnail on one of my videos of like me reacting to stuff that was fairly vague. Like it was just showing a character that you wouldn't know who that is unless you had already started and progressed into Shadowbringers. And even then, the expression of her being like corrupted by the light creatures, not like if you hadn't already gotten to that point in the expansion, that thumbnail didn't really spoil anything. But people were leaving a lot of comments bitching about the thumbnail. They said, "Oh, thanks for the spoiler thumbnail. Why are you spoiling in the thumbnail? Why are you spoiling in the thumbnail?" And it was so hyper aggressive. It's like that's not a spoiler. Like it gives the person who views the image next to no information.
Completely.
So, but, you know, I changed the thumbnail anyway just because that many people were fucking upset about it. So the FF14 community has, I would say, kind of the same, in some aspects, the same level of toxicity as the WoW community. It's just different toxicity. The WoW community is toxic to people just kind of generally and about a lot of things. I've actually experienced some exceptions to that while I've been playing WoW Classic and also a little bit in MOP, but mainly in TBC. But generally and traditionally, WoW has had like the most toxic player base. I would say FF14 has that same level, but it's directed differently. It's directed specifically at aspects the community has kind of... I don't know how else to put it. There's basically an HOA. There's basically an HOA community within FF14's community that have deemed themselves the authority on things, and it's kind of like it's an HOA or like Reddit mods, like that same level of like self-importance, and it's quite vexing, I will say, where they're very anti-spoiler even when things aren't spoilery. They get to dictate that for some reason, and they also frustratingly hold on, I'm gonna start. Yeah, I need coal, 74 coal. But they also don't just do it for spoilers. Spoilers is the big thing, but I've also noticed they do it for like curating other people's experience in the game, which is very disturbing and frustrating, to say the least. FF14 has toxic positivity. I mean, they do have that, but they also have just straight up toxic... They're just kind of like generally toxic. Yeah, there's a big proportion of FF14 player base that gets very butthurt very easily. Yeah, and again, I think that there's a lot of very strong Reddit DNA in that, in the sense that they put it upon themselves to kind of define themselves as like this supreme authority. And it's very annoying. And it's very vexing.
May your blades never dull.
Alright, how many... Oh, 74. Okay, I need 24 more. What? That's my hand. My girlfriend just stole my hand. Now she's biting my hand. Is this a mating thing?
No.
No ground.
Okay.
Being silly.
Yes, you are. Alright, let's get 74.
Sorry, I'm back.
Alright,
What did I miss?
Not much. My girlfriend's just stolen my hand, and now she's biting my hand.
Aw, she likes you.
That or she has rabies.
Well, if I had rabies, I'd be foaming at the mouth.
And have bloodshot eyes.
I'd look like a druggie.
Yeah. Not even getting into the hallucinations. Okay. But yeah, the FF14 player base is thankful. I go back and forth on it. Sometimes I'm grateful that the toxicity in that community is so specific, but at the same time, like I guess and to be fair, I think if you're like an average FF14 player, you don't have to worry about it too much. But if you're someone who streams or records it, I think is where you're actually experiencing the toxic part of the player base most actively. And it can make it averse to play the game, I will say. 'Cause especially again, I was bothered by like the spoiler. Again, it was not a spoiler thumbnail, but I was bothered by that incident. But I think what bothered me the most was certainly the trust backlash. Like my choice to play with other players in an MMO rather than play with the NPCs. And again, it was so weird. It's like this HOA mentality. There's this one correct way to do it, and if you don't do it, you're wrong. And like, it was so. It bothered me. It really bothered me.
Yeah.
Cold.
Which is one of the reasons I haven't played FF14
Well,
that much.
I
do need to. No.
It's worth playing. I will say that. Like, I don't mean to make the game sound like it's bad. It's got one of the most engaging and fun stories in any video game period I've ever played. Especially if you like a little bit, like if you like a story that's earnest and really lives in its own world and establishes itself quite well with fun characters. It's not that it doesn't have missteps. Like I think the end of Endwalker, I think, really made a lot of bad choices. And I know why they did it. It's because they were afraid of backlash. But I think Endwalker made some poor arc choices with the end of its story. It had a lot of really good beats at the end as well. And I think the very final elements of Endwalker's story are amazing. But they made some choices for the overall narrative that kind of robbed a lot of weight to what happens. So I as much as there's those issues, and some say that there is kind of a drag in the story when it comes to Stormblood between Doma and the other place. Mainly that's just due to having to go back and forth so much. But outside of those elements, honestly, the story is just fantastic. It's worth going through, especially if you don't mind, kind of reading the parts of the story in the dialogue in your head. Like it's a lot of fun. It's just the community has some red blotches on its record, I will say. Okay.
Well, I have a bit of an what's the word? Aversion, or well, basically, I don't seek out MMOs typically because WoW had such a bad reputation, even in my school, of how addictive it got, and I even saw some of it myself with certain people I met. So I just thought it was like, okay, it's kind of like a smack addiction. These MMOs, maybe it's not the best idea to jump in, you know. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
No, it does.
basically how
It's
it was.
WoW's problem isn't its addictiveness. It's what makes it addictive is not there anymore. If you play retail, in my opinion, what made it addictive back in the day was how well they really nailed the community aspects and the incentive, the balance between difficulty, single player, multiplayer content, single player content, and kind of mixed content between the two, as well as PvP content, was at its best really early on. Like, they really nailed this immersive fantasy world so succinctly, both in a sense of it being a video game and it being a sense of like a sim game. And that hasn't existed properly since that point in time. And you could say the private servers kind of count as that now, but sorry, not the private servers, the classic servers act as that now. But even then, they're kind of frozen in time a little bit for the expansions that they're classically covering. But if we look at, and they've only been online since 2019, so it, like, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's any more addictive than any other side hobby you can have. What makes it addictive is it's more forgiving and more. It's got more concrete rules to it than the real world. Like, it's no more addicting than Lord of the Rings is. It's no more addicting than Game of Thrones is, whether we're talking the show or the books. It's about as addicting as any tabletop game you might be invested in, like Warhammer or chess even. What makes it addicting is that it is a succinct and wholesale escape from the reality. It's not addicting in any other way. And even then, it's kind of failing to be that latter point anymore, especially retail, because retail is now just kind of infested by postmodernist woke writing. Like retail is a shadow of what WoW used to be.
Yeah.
Raw.
Well, let me look at the 1350. Yeah,
Go forth to
always
victory.
from affording that. But yeah, like as for 14 though, I would recommend it to you on the basis of as a story. It is a very, very solid story of a video game. And the community, the community's not too bad. Like, the community's only really bad if you're a content creator. I will say, if you're a CC in FF14, it's. I wasn't even a dedicated FF14 CC, and people got on my ass hard about not wanting to use the trust system and quote unquote spoilers. That and my reaction to what was that moment? It's actually one of my most viewed videos on my channel too. I won't describe it to you because it's a huge spoiler, but I had a reaction to a specific moment. Excuse me. Oh man, I yawned. I reacted to so everyone else knows what I'm talking about, but hopefully this won't spoil it to you. But I reacted to "Thou Must Live, Die, and Know." It's an Endwalker moment. I didn't cry. Yeah, I didn't. So the community's expectation for people reacting to that moment was to cry. I did watch a compilation later after I experienced it of other people's reactions to it as content creators, and pretty much everybody else, male, female, not sure which they are, you know what I'm talking about? Everybody else reaction to that moment was tears, was like being unconsolable for several minutes. My reaction to it was, oh, that's sad. And I felt upset, but I didn't cry. I wasn't unconsolable for several minutes. I was like, oh shit, that sucks.
Exactly. Like, not everyone reacts the same way.
I know, but you would have thought that I was Hitler based on the comments I was getting. I got a bunch of people. One person that kind of stuck with me a little bit, I'll be honest. One person left a comment saying, maybe FF14 should be played only by people with a soul.
Well, fuck Oh,
Yeah, it's like, holy
really?
shit. Like,
Oh.
really? Just because I didn't cry my eyes out?
it's a fucking video game. Chill the fuck out.
And the thing is, like, FF14 did have a couple moments that caused me to cry. I'm not afraid to admit it, but that wasn't one of them. Yeah, I mean, like, I didn't cry. I was saddened, but no tears were shed. That's pretty much what my reaction was. It wasn't like I laughed about it. You would have thought I did based on the reactions I got. Like, people were like, "Oh my god, like you just have no heart. Like, what? Why aren't you reacting to this? Why are you upset?" Like, people just were like losing. Again, it's that there is that toxic element to that community.
I mean, it's also there's also like a little bit of that toxic reaction. Like it a little bit comes from the reaction community because everyone wants you to experience the exact same emotion that they had, but that's just unrealistic.
And
Because
like other people have different temperaments and they have different experiences in their life. Like I don't want to like trauma dump or anything, so I'll just be generic. But like I've been through some shit in my life. I've experienced some trauma and heartache, and I've seen loved ones after they've died and what's left of their corpses at the hospital. I've seen dark shit. I've experienced dark shit. I don't cry hardly at all nowadays. Like last time when my cat recently died, I didn't cry. I just didn't want to talk, and I was angry for like several days. I was depressed, but I didn't cry. Like when you go through life, maybe I'm being cruel in the opposite sense when I say this, but in my opinion, if The Walk, you know what I'm talking about, those of you who know, thou shalt live, die, and know, that moment in the story, in my opinion, if you do cry to that, I commend your investment in the story, but honestly speaking, it really wasn't that rough of a moment. Don't get me wrong, I totally understand being saddened by it. Absolutely. The story does such an amazing job at getting you invested in her. Again, not using names or any spoilers here. But
obviously.
But like it does such a good job that yeah, you feel sad. Absolutely. But in my opinion, if you start wailing, if you start crying, if you start like if you start breaking down, I think you need to experience more life, to be honest. Like maybe I'm being cruel in the in the inverse of people who are upset at me for not crying, but I do think if it breaks you down that much, you really need to experience more. Well, I guess that's evil to say. I don't want people to experience more loss, but if you haven't experienced real loss in your life and like seen worse moments than that in your own life, you are lucky. I'll put it that way. You're a very lucky person, and I have not been lucky in the same way.
Yeah, it's like you said, like I commend the immersion, but ultimately, like at the end of the day, it is still just a video game.
Yeah.
Like, and I'll always cry more on like real tragedies that I've experienced, that I've heard other people talk about, far more than I will in a video game. And that's not to say like video games can't do that. Like I have had moments where I've cried in video games. It's just that I always remember myself. This is a really well-crafted story. At the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think a story is incredibly impressive and commendable if it can even make you feel anything internally at all. Like. But I mean, like you need to. For me, it's a sign of how functioning of an adult you are. If like how you're able to compose yourself through like even a well-written story. Now, it's one thing if you're a kid. I will throw that addendum out there. Like if you go through those kind of stories, like I think every kid who grew up watching something like Fern Gully or that's another good one. All Dogs Go to Heaven, or you watched some kind of movie where there's like a gut punch moment and you cry and you wail. Yeah, you're a kid. Yeah, you're 12, you're 10, you're 11. Hell, you might even be younger, 7 or 11 years old, 7 or 9 years old, and you cry. Yeah, no parent should be like, "Oh, why are you crying? Why are you crying?" No, they're a kid. That's when they're supposed to.
Exactly.
But if you're 20, if you're 25, and you cry at those same things, No, you're grown. You're a grown ass adult. Like time.
Like-
That is the time to buck up. That is the time to have a more steely outgo. Like, and again, like I know the internet gets kind of sensitive about this, but if you're a man and you cry, like especially on a rewatch of All Dogs Go to Heaven or something like that, and I mean cry. I don't mean feel sad. You should. But if you cry, if you break down, if you lose composure at these things,
Yeah.
you
Like-
need to grow up and you need to live life a bit more. I honestly.
Yeah, I haven't seen like a couple of old classics. Like of the movies that made me cry as a kid. It doesn't anymore, but it still has the right in the childhood feeling. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I remember that. But yeah, exactly.
Can I
Like,
lighten that coin purse up for you?
that's the thing. I don't think I can't actually think of anything that actually genuinely made me cry, bawling out. Yeah, I just can't think of it.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
just it I can remember things like from when I was a little kid that made me cry, but yeah, like for things that I got nothing personally for. Yeah, I can't think of anything. I can't think of anything that's made me cry. Jeez, and like to any
almost
kind
feel
of
like-
severe degree.
Well, I think the closest thing, because well, obviously I can't think of it, but I think like the closest thing was the first time I saw Bionicle, the movie, because you know the fight scene in at the very end, where it looks like the main character who had just accepted the Mask of Life, looks like he had just sacrificed himself and died.
Yeah, I could see like a little,
Like, "Aw."
kid. Yeah.
But then, of course, he rose up, and I was like, "Yeah!" Oh man.
I mean, again, that's the time to have that like kind of sensitivity. I do think for especially for us men, like it's not a sexuality thing either. By the way, like this goes for gay men as much as straight men. If you grow up and you are emotionally distraught by a piece of media. Now, obviously, there's exceptions. There might be specific like traumas people have, and that's one thing. But like on a general
PTSD
basis,
or something like that.
yeah. Like if there's something that just pinpricks, like for example, in FF14, I broke down crying. I'll avoid spoiling this by simply not saying who's who as characters. There's a moment in the plot where a character that we follow. Earlier on in the story, his best friend and kind of implied like childhood romance like connection, she dies in the story and she's killed. And then much later, we come across her parents, and he, the character that lost her and saw her die, struggles immensely to talk to them and face them after she died. Because he feels guilty and partially responsible. And when he speaks to them, it like punches in the it's like a big emotional moment, and that crushed me because I've had to do that. Like I haven't had to report to a parent of a friend that they died, but I have had to face the parent of a friend who has died after the death. And it's so, like in my case, like
absolutely, I would understand.
Yeah, like that fucking killed me. Like I cried because the reason I cried is not because of just how well the writing is, but it's because I experienced that real life experience. Like I have a form of trauma, and I know kind of overused terms. I don't mean to like overwhelm with that, but I have an experience with that. Like I have had to face the parents of a friend, in my case, a friend who died of cancer. After she died, I had to face her parents at her celebration of life. I've had to look them in the eye and talk to them about a friend who is no longer with us, about their daughter who is dead, who was one of my best friends and who I stood by throughout the cancer. I have had to be in those shoes, and that's why when that story beat happens, that caused me to break down and cry.
Absolutely.
Because I have a specific, so I can always understand those kind of specific breakdowns. But for the generalities, for stuff that happens that causes you to break down that you have no personal experience with, that's different. And a lot of the people I saw reacting to the long walk moment, none of them explained that they had any kind of personal experience from that kind of thing, and it didn't seem like it was anything anyone could have experienced a personal similarity to. So, as far as I saw it, most people were breaking down crying in relation to that scene, just because the story was written so well, and also because they just had a lack of maturity and composure, as far as I saw it. So I listen. I'm not like an asshole. I didn't leave any comments telling them to grow up or anything. Like, it's like, okay, I think they overreacted, but that was me. But my problem was I underreacted apparently, and people gave me shit.
Yeah. I think the closest thing I ever came down to breaking down, and not close to, not actually breaking down, but, and this is gonna sound, to some people it'll sound a little bit, of course, but it was the God of War, the new God of War's video games, and I know a lot of people have different opinions on them for obvious reasons, but I did actually very connect with those stories, mainly because it deals with a lot of fathers, and a lot of fathers trying to be better people and all that.
Yeah.
And of course he tries to be a better father for his son and all that. It actually really got to me because I've had an up and down relationship with my own father for a couple of reasons, and seeing them connect and all that, it brought a little. It connected to me in a really nice way, because I also eventually managed to set aside all the issues. We just talked together, and the day we were just father and son, just enjoying our time together. It's like, I felt that.
Man.
Yeah, and I felt similar. I felt like just, reconnecting with my, Kratos trying to reconnect with his son, try to be a better father and all that. It's just like, I saw it because, without giving out any specifics, basically my father had a lot of massive anger issues. Like, nothing abusive, nothing at all, but was infamous around where I lived, that having massive anger issues, and yeah. So seeing him eventually, pull himself through it, and becoming a genuinely better father for both me and my half-brother. It's just,
Yeah.
It connects. Even then, I didn't necessarily cry, but I came very close to it. Just because of the commonality.
And I wouldn't have blamed you for that. Again, when you have those personal connections to a beat of a story, it makes total sense. And like Nuna says over there, to be fair, no one really had to put up with what she did during that walk. Yeah, exactly. But, I could understand someone making a very loose connection to that story moment in their own life of, a series of, struggles. That's kind of what that whole thing is about, is, that series of struggles. Obviously, in her case, way bigger one. Again, avoiding specifics. Really big struggles that were just tearing her apart. But the average person, I could see making a general connection to it. But again, that connection, I can't see being so specific. And again, there's really nothing about that I saw as being so specifically, emotionally disruptive to cause someone to lose their composure. And I didn't. And I don't, I do privately judge people who lose their composure at those moments, but I certainly wouldn't go out of my way to talk crap about them. So I find it weird that when someone like myself, who has the composure that others lack, gets called soulless for it.
It's mainly you have so much of your investment in a video game. It's calm down, have a bit more real experiences.
Yeah. I think people need to If nothing else, understand that not everyone reacts the same, and not everyone is going to give you the tears that you're expecting.
Exactly.
Hey, that's the simplest way to put it, and the nicest way to put it.
Actually, well, that was for FF14. What was like? Was there a moment in WoW that just really, maybe not made you cry or anything, but it really got you? It really got to you.
Well, I will say this: there's even as a kid, there's no moment in World of Warcraft that has ever gotten me to cry. Warcraft 3, I cried when we killed Uther, or when Arthas killed Uther in Warcraft 3.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I absolutely would understand that.
But for context, I was 6.
Well, I mean,
I was 6 years old. So, you know, that made me cry.
And you also didn't have the freaking Shadowlands expansion.
And I didn't quite cry in Warcraft 3 at this point, but I almost did. I was more shocked, though, than sad. Is when Muradin dies when Arthas first gets Frostmourne, like when at the dais. But I was so like shocked at what had happened to Muradin that I felt sad, but I didn't quite cry. The game like, you know, quickly puts you back into the gameplay right after that, so you really don't have time to like linger on.
Really
oh shit,
process it.
Muradin's dead.
You have to really process it and all that.
Yeah, when we killed Uther, though, that made me cry as a kid. As for World of Warcraft, no, nothing in vanilla happens that makes you cry. Like, from a story standpoint. There's, like, social things that might make you cry, but there's no... there was nothing like that made me cry, no. Let's see. TBC... Nah, there's nothing really... Well, I guess it depends on your... like what specifically you like or are invested in, but personally, I can't really think of anything. Yeah, no, I can't think of anything I would say in TBC that was even sad in this narrative. It was all more or less just like hard. The only sad thing in TBC I can think of is like when Thrall, like, picks up Garrosh and, like, takes him back to the Horde. Even then, I don't remember that questline too in detail. Actually, I can't even remember how much of that is just subtext and how much of that is actual direct quest text. So, yeah, honestly, there's, like, nothing narratively sad that happens in World of Warcraft until Wrath. In Wrath, I felt like... I think everyone knows the ending cinematic, like, after we defeat Arthas, and he's freed from the Helm of Domination, and he's freed from Frostmourne. And he sees the spirit of his father come down to collect him. And he's afraid of death, and he sees only darkness before him. And the speech his father gives him about no king ruling forever. Like that hit hard. But no tears. And by that point, I was a teenager. And I didn't feel any. I felt sad, and I felt the mix of emotions. I will say, because the victory in the raid felt amazing, but the end of the Lich King and such an iconic villain, and also Arthas coming back only. It's kind of the tragedy of it's like the villain who's like possessed, who like the demon unpossesses last second, right as they're dying. Like, funny enough, it happens to Horus as well. It's a very cliche story bit, but it happens quite a bit. But it's a very good cliche, I will say. And that moment you get where Arthas has that clarity, and he's seeing his death coming, and he's seeing only darkness before him. And his soul is like leaves his body, and he falls back down dead. It's like, you know, as a player and as an investor in this story and setting, it's so fucking brutal. Because it's like, ah, shit, like everything that guy went through, and his initial reasons were so honorable and well intentioned, and then they kind of got corrupted along the way, and it was a very unfortunate tale. So,
Yeah.
but it wasn't depressing, and it certainly wasn't anything traumatic for me.
No.
So no, I didn't. I felt sad at the end of the era and at the end of such a great character, but I didn't cry and I didn't get like. I got a little choked up, I will say, especially when King Tyrannus speaks to him. But
yeah, especially with the context of everything that he has done, like
yeah,
yeah. I mean, you can feel bad all day, but he's still just a massive threat to Azeroth.
yep, and he had to be put down.
Yep.
Oh, let's see. I think the biggest narrative shock I experienced personally in WoW was Wrathgate. Yeah, Wrathgate was a shock. It wasn't really emotional for me. I was shocked. I was like, "Holy fuck, what the hell's happening?" But I was actually, you know, I won't say I was emotional at Wrathgate. I was more like, "Wow, this is awesome. This is fucked up, but this is awesome." Yeah, you go take a shower, Lightning. Thank you for hanging out while you were, man. Enjoy your shower.
You got the power in the shower.
The other. If you haven't done so, like the stream if you like it. Yes, if you are enjoying the stream, please leave a like. It's always appreciated. Yeah. I think we're gonna wrap up the stream. But I wanna thank everybody for coming in. I know it was a shorter stream, but it was fun to just kind of chill and chat for a little bit and work on my level.
Absolutely.
And, yeah. I wish more dungeons would have queued, but it's MOP. So yeah, everybody have a great evening and have a good one. Bye bye.